Hey y'all, Nate the Forester here. Back with another one. We actually going to show y'all how I started tearing down a long time ago, and I honestly just haven't never gotten back around to it. And this thing's probably been in pieces for over a year, and all I was doing was chasing down an air leak, and then ended up packing up and moving from Texas back to Alabama. Could have got at company. Guy that worked for our company decided to leave, and that spot opened up over here. And I'm originally from Alabama, so I decided to move back closer to home. And this all just never ended up putting it back together in Texas. So let's see where I ended up at. So today is I've had this off for years now. I mean years. This was a 266 SE I picked up from, might have been eBay at the time. I think I paid $40 plus maybe $40 or $50 plus $30-$40 shipping, so what, $90 at most. It did run, and then it developed an air leak. Things about this saw, which, like I said, it's partially torn apart now. Got to put a different trigger in it. Trigger is weak in it. The arm, it flexes quite a bit. Chain brake covers, rough to say the least. Cylinder is actually in really good shape. Top cover, as you see, is broken and burnt in one part because I believe somebody used the wrong muffler on this sucker at one time. But and it's had the kill switch replaced a time or two. I'm trying to see, where did I set all my tools? I left them over here. So I've been doing a bunch of work off camera tonight, just little odds and ends. Like my dad's Pioneer farm saw, it still was acting funky on acting like it had an air leak. Had to compensate with a bunch of low what's called, so I ended up putting, so I think I boogered up one of the crank seals last time I put it in, so I replaced it again. I'll give it a try. And then what else I do? Worked on my box of parts Pioneer saw. Just honestly just opened up a oil hole in the bar, and the kill switch has never worked on that saw. I've always had to use the choke to kill it, so I replaced that, or tried to get that going, but I think it's got a kill wire that's bad. Either that or the internal grounding in the coil is bad, one or the other. I just didn't feel like really tearing into that saw. I want to leave it in the back of the truck because it is reliable. It cranks on third pull pretty well every time. And I'd like to pop off in this. This is rocking the original 266 50 millimeter piston and cylinder. They're in really pretty decent shape. Had breathable compression when I first had it. Probably, I never put a gauge on it, maybe 140, 145, maybe 150. All I was going to do was fix crank seals, which I believe, if I remember right, I put new fuel line, new anti-valve mounts in it. I was going to fix the crank seals and just pull the base gasket. I think pulling the base gasket, if I remember right, was going to put it down at 23 thousand squish. I wasn't even going to port this one. The one I will port is over here, which I've already got the time wheel somewhat marked up on it. This is another 50 millimeter highway cylinder pop up on a 266 case. I've kind of been working on that a little bit off screen, not much. But I do want to do a comparison between that ported pop up saw and this stock saw with just a base gasket delete. Just showing the differences and showing kind of my timing numbers and what I think about them. So without further ado, let's just get off in this thing and see where I left off. Because honestly, it's been so long I don't remember. I'd honestly have to find all the parts for this. I know the muffler's off. I think the cylinder's held on by 2 bolts. There might be all 4 on it. Like I said, what's going on? Going to go get into the seals on this saw. Might have done the clutch. I can't remember. We'll end up just tearing it all the way down. The bearings in this saw felt good. Let's just get under the cover and see, because it's been, like I said, quite some time since I last pulled this somewhat apart. Yep. Yeah, I remember I put a knee full line in it. It's got held on by 2 bolts. The other 2 were started off in there, but they ain't all the way in there. Put a rag in the intake and the exhaust. This is I think it's a B cylinder. On some of these Husqvarnas, especially like the 2100s, 1100s, and I think some of these 266s, they did actually have different cylinders at the factory. They had an A, a B, and a C, and it all depended on the tolerances of the bore. So, bore for the pistons they were making, an A cylinder would be, I believe, your tightest, B would be the next tightest, and C was pretty well your bottom shelf, like, I don't even know, I don't want to throw any names out there, but there it'd be a pretty loose bore. Ways you get around that, if you had a kind of a B cylinder, and I read about this, guys, especially 2100s, if you had a B cylinder and put an A piston in it, it would take up a bunch of slack in the cylinder, and it would actually, you'd probably gain what I was reading, 10, maybe 15 pounds of compression, just because of the added less amount of clearance in the cylinder between the piston and the cylinder. I mean, it's still within range, but the best you could get would be a piston with an A cylinder. But so yeah, I got the carb off, the intake block off. I said this throttle arm is weak. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, she's got some play off in her. I end up pulling this tank back off, fixing that. Fix this coil wire that I never fixed. All it needs is a butt connector, or I could honestly just probably replace it. Somebody, I think when I got it, it was like this. I just never took the time to do it. I didn't run this all long before it developed the air leak. It was kind of a go-to saw for a little while. Let's pull this let's go off, and like I said, I think I had already pulled. I think I pulled the base gasket out of the saw. Now, I'll be able to see the outsides of it. If it's still in there. Let's see. No, she's still in it. I never end up pulling it all the way off. Base gasket's still in it. Let's see what kind of squish we have with the base gasket in there. 19 millimeter. We'll go. I have a 19 millimeter up here. Find that real quick. That's where I had it up here. I'll take this 3/4 popper off. she's somewhat loose, yeah. Go ahead and pull it off. So if I remember right, it's cranked down there with 2 bolts. Grab my solder, somewhere over here, there it is. Then my calipers. I'm actually waiting to pour some stuff because I'm actually probably about to order a Wixie digital angle gauge. I want to try it out, see if I can see what numbers it comes up with. Alright, this is, I think, 62 thousandths solder, so it should give us a fairly good reading. How did this all get locked up? Oh, there it is. It just so tight. Let me, well, I have to just roll it over now. Ain't it good? Redo that. Lay her over to the side last. I'll put enough in it. Of course, I didn't put enough in that. Well, do it one more time. I'm probably gonna do it off camera because I'm never good at doing this part on camera. Ever. Get you all the way down and push you like that. Alright, that's gonna have us about where she's at. Right there. Said it's from the factory, at least this one, if I remember correctly, it was fairly loose. Got that zeroed. Yeah, 42 thousandths. If I remember right, the base gasket was right at 20 thousandths, 18 thousandths. Might have been at 18. Yeah, 40, 41, 43 on the high side. Do it a couple more times. Straighten this solder back out. Do it on the back side. Usually do it in a couple different spots. Come on. Line this back up. There we go. Don't have to pull it overly hard, especially not on these that have a base gasket on. Make sure she's still zeroed. Re-zeroed it. Oh wow, back side's at 50. 43 on the back side, 42. Yeah, 43, 42 on the back side, and I'll do one of the sides just to be thorough. Go in on the side over here. It's gonna be tight over here on the sides. 42, 43. Down the very end, we're at 39. Yeah, about 39, 37. To try and make sure I don't push this too hard. Yeah, about 30. Very edge of squish band, we're at about 37. And we roll up to about 42. Let's pull this cylinder off. We're actually getting to work with. I said it's been so long since I've done this that I don't remember exactly. I mean, I remember it was in fairly good shape, just not how good a shape it was in. Been, I said well over a year. This one kind of honestly fell by the wayside. When I started getting other saws that just sat up on the shelf, and I ain't thought none more about it. I can get this bolt to come on out with me. I hope it's probably gonna stay. If I remember right, these bolts weren't in the best of shape either, so I'll probably end up pulling them off. That one wasn't very tight. Probably go ahead and replace these cylinder head bolts. So I didn't remember them being in great shape. I believe somebody had at least put a base gasket in it before. Probably chasing down the air leak. I'll bring y'all in a little bit closer. I've been trying to get y'all a little bit closer in here. So just pulling the cylinder off. That should have her pretty well ready to go. She fell back in a spot. Yes, the cylinder still got the base gasket on it. It's all, yep. It's carboned up real bad. Go ahead and grab these bolts. Go ahead and throw them in down in this bucket just so I don't lose them. Got that guy. Like I said, probably gonna replace these because these are about wallered when I got this saw. Got some carbon up in the top end of it, but there is no real scoring. Wear mark right there. The piston on the intake side a little bit, but don't look like no plating's gone. There's no scoring in it. Obviously, you can see where the piston had been sitting for a long time. Like I said, over a year. Like I said, I don't know how well y'all be able to see that. If I put y'all lower, so I mean, I'm just using an iPhone here, so ain't no good quality, but that's that wear spot I was talking about, very edge. But overall, I mean, there's casting flash I guess I could clean up in it, especially on one of the transfer ports, but like I said, all I was trying to do was basically just pull the base gasket and go from there. Throw a new ring in it. Pistons in dang good shape, to be honest with you. Looks like somebody actually, I don't remember that. I wonder if this thing actually needs a case gasket. Somebody put JB Weld up here. Looks like they had ground something off at some point. Probably trying to put that bigger muffler on there. I bet I have a case gasket leak right there. So this one may, I don't know, may pull it all the way down. This gasket's gonna be, oh yeah, she's gonna be stuck like glue. Yep. Oh man, yeah, I may just go ahead and grab a new piston, keep this stock one. Do that, or I gotta do a lot of scraping on some carbon. This sucker is carboned up. I do not remember that. I mean, the top of the cylinder is a little carbon, but that piston took most of it. here's what I was talking about. I think I'll show y'all. Y'all see that green right there? It looks like some kind of sealant. Some sort. Wonder if they got in here in the case gasket or something happened to the case. And it's leaking right there. If I remember right, yeah, the bottom of the tank looked fine. Just granted, it could have had a different cylinder put on it, could have had a different tank put on it. These saws, most of them are boogered up. I may grind that down a little bit right there, and maybe I'll do a little bit of JB Weld right on that seam, because like I said, the crank in this was fine. Bearings were fine from my memory. Yeah, she's tight. Yeah, she's tight. I thought so. But we'll have to do, like I said, I'm going ahead. I've gotten crank seals, the O-rings for the seal retainers, or the seal retainer on the flywheel side, the oil pump on the fun side, the clutch side, fun side. Got an O-ring for the oil pump, and like I said, we'll probably go ahead and we may grab a different piston, throw in this sucker just because how carboned up this is. And while I like the full skirt pistons, I believe somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but you get better flow out of the open skirt pistons. Like, see how this piston is full skirt, wraps around the bottom. If I remember right, you get better flow with a open skirt piston with the windows. But I may order one up. Well, hell, actually, this one. Yeah, there you go. This is a highway open. That's an open skirt piston. You see the windows in it, quite massive. So what I may do is just even compare to this one. These are maybe about the same size. Now I may just clean off the top of that piston, throw a new ring in it. It is a single thick ring piston. Same as that one. That one's gonna be a single thick ring piston. Just set that back down there for now, so nothing gets inside the case. There we go. And yeah, I said just drop the base gasket, pull the base gasket out of it. Yamaha Bond, Honda Bond, Moto Seal. I think I've got both Yamaha Bond and Moto Seal here, so I'll just use one or the other. New crank seals, new O-rings, new gaskets. We'll throw a different muffler on it, just because I believe the one that came off of it, that one? Yeah, that was the one that came off of this saw, which I believe was a 272, if I remember right. Can't look more like the 272 than what came off. It's supposed to come off these saws, so I may get one of these smaller mufflers with studs. I'll just open up that fish gill right there. I may do a dual port on it. Yeah, I'll probably just, I'll drop the base gasket, or pull the base gasket, leave timing alone, do a muffler mod on it, and then we'll run it against what's going to be that's all right here, which is going to be ported muffler mod. They'll both be running the same carbs. That one will have a pop up, so it's going to have a little more compression. So it's mainly going to be porting and compression versus just a stock cylinder with the base gasket removed. Because I mean, like I said, I'll port try to do muffler mod, do the same muffler mod for both mufflers. But yep, that's probably where I'm going to stop the video for tonight. It's getting late. I'm getting tired, and I may start doing a little cleanup work, but nothing really worth showing. I mean, may get the carbon off the top of this piston. Sorry, move y'all back over. Carbon off the top of this piston, and then take that base gasket off the top, or off that cylinder, and then locate all my parts for this saw, and be ready for the next video. Appreciate y'all watching. Sorry, I moved y'all up here. Appreciate all y'all watching. Appreciate the support, and I just saw I got I guess upgraded where I could do community posts, so y'all may see some here and there. More probably what I do day to day, and then maybe some cool finds I find in the woods, working, and stuff like that. I mean, but I really appreciate all y'all's support, everybody that's been watching. If you don't mind, like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. For those that aren't subscribed, I really would appreciate it. Not looking to make money off this channel, just would like to honestly talk to more of y'all. Like hearing y'all stories, like hearing what y'all like to see, what y'all don't like to see, and little inputs on builds. I mean, I'd take any advice, take any critique. I just like talking to folks, so hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's evening, and I will see y'all on the next one. Thanks, y'all.